was talking to a friend recently who has a son in pre-K, and she was mentioning that she was really surprised that he couldn't read a word that she had showed him recently because the word only had 2 letters. She said he knows all of his letter sounds, and so when she showed him this word, she thought he would be able to read it. Well, the word she showed him was go. And yes, it has 2 letters in it, G-O. But go is a very tricky word for a beginning reader because a beginning reader is taught the short vowels, and O represents ah. So when they see the word go, they are going to think it's g-ah, ga. And that's exactly what he said. He said ga. And she thought, wait, why doesn't he know it's go? Well, the reason is we have to be so super careful to understand when we're asking our children to read words that we are asking them to read words that they've already learned the phonics skill. In this case, this little boy had not learned about open syllables and about how the O is representing the long O sound at the end of the word because there's no other letter after it. There's no other letter to make it a closed syllable. She just assumed that because it was 2 letters, he should be able to read it. And that's the assumption that a lot of parents make. They will ask their child to read a book or to read a word and be surprised when they can't read it. And it's because they don't understand the scope and sequence of how we teach kids how to read. So in today's video, I want to share with you which words your child should be able to read in the order that they're usually learning their phonics skills so that you have a little bit of an easier time asking them to read certain words. In case you don't know me, my name is Erin. I am from littleslovelearning.com. I'm a former classroom teacher. I also am a tutor and a sub, and I spend my days teaching parents and other teachers how to teach kids to read correctly and effectively based on the science of reading. So in today's video, I just want to briefly go over that scope and sequence of what you can expect your kindergarten student to be learning so that you know which words to ask them to read you. Before we dive in, I want you to grab this freebie so that you and I are on the same page. This is the Kindergarten End of the Year Literacy Goal freebie. When you download this, it is totally free. You are going to understand which phonics skills your child is learning in kindergarten and what they should be able to do by the end of the year. So it is all listed out for you with examples so that you understand the scope and sequence better and that you'll understand which words you can give them because you know that they've learned those skills. So definitely go grab this. The link is down below, totally free, and it will help you understand your child's development much better. So the first thing your child is going to learn as they go through kindergarten are all of the predictable consonant sounds and all of the short vowel sounds. So for our predictable consonants, we have M, S, T, L, P, F, C as in k, cat. We're not learning that C represents S, city just yet. They also learn N, B, R, J, K, V, G as in gorilla, not G as in giraffe. They will learn that later. W, D, H, Y, Z, and X as in the last sound in box. We're not teaching them that X at the beginning represents Z like in xylophone. We want to focus on that last sound. Then we're also teaching them the short vowel sounds. A, I, A. We're not worrying about long vowels yet, just short vowels. So what we can do when we have this information is we can put together consonants and the short vowels to make what we call CVC words, like mat and dog. Those are totally predictable, totally normal words. Once they have mastered those, we can also make it a little bit more complex by adding what we call consonant clusters or blends, where it's 2 consonants, and those 2 consonants are each retaining their own sound, like f, ul, full, ap, flap. So we're making it a little bit more complex. We can have consonant clusters at the beginning, and we can also have consonant clusters at the end. So if your child is in this stage of learning, they've only learned their consonant sounds and their short vowel sounds, they're only able to read words that follow that consistent pattern, that have a consonant sound at the beginning, a short vowel in the middle, and a consonant sound at the end. And maybe, just maybe, they're ready for those consonant clusters, either at the beginning or the end. They might not be, and that's okay, but you want to stick with those predictable words first. Now, depending on your child's program, they are also going to learn something called consonant digraphs. That's when we have 2 letters, but they're representing 1 sound. So the common ones that we usually see in kindergarten, S-H, sh, C-H, ch, W-H, ooh. Now where I live, it sounds just like the letter W, ooh, but it's spelled with W-H. T-H can be f or v, P-H, C-K at the end of a word after a short vowel, and then N-G, ng. These digraphs are important for your child to practice, so you could use them in words that also have a short vowel and a consonant sound. So like in shut or chat. They're using their digraphs, but they're also sticking with short vowels and consonant sounds. So that's something to practice in kindergarten as the year goes on. And then we do want to introduce our kids to something we call open syllables. Now, these are words that end with a vowel and they don't have a consonant after the vowel. So instead of it being a short vowel, we now have a long vowel sound. Go, no, hi, she, he. Now, in the example I give you at the beginning of this video, my friend's son had not learned about open syllables, so he was not able to read the word go. He didn't realize that since there was no consonant here, that it would be a long vowel O sound. And that's totally normal. He's only in pre-K. This is something we teach in kindergarten and in first grade, and it is a skill that your child will get to. But it's important that you know that they're not there yet, so you don't ask them to read a word that they can't read yet. But if you as a parent don't know the sequence that your child is learning, then you're going to ask them to read words that are too difficult for them, that they're not ready for yet. That's why it's important that you know your child's sequence and that you're able to ask them words based on that sequence. So by the end of kindergarten, your child should be able to read any of these words that have predictable consonants, that have our consonant digraphs, that have short vowels, and our open syllable words. Now, throughout all of this learning, your child is probably also learning sight words, which we know are not actually sight words. They're high frequency words. Some of them are phonetically regular and can be decoded, like the word it or the word in. And some of them are phonetically irregular and they cannot be decoded in the same way. They can still be decoded, but there's a part that we need to learn by heart that's a little tricky. For example, in the word the or the word said. And so those words need to be taught to your child as well. And you need to know which heart words, that's what we call them, which heart words your child knows and which heart words they don't know. Because you wouldn't want to ask your child to read a book that has heart words that they haven't learned yet. They haven't learned the word the or the word said. They can't just decode those because they know their letter sounds, because there's a tricky part they need to learn by heart. So you need to know exactly which heart words your child knows and doesn't know, so that when you're asking them to practice reading with you, you'll be able to support them better on that journey. I hope this information was helpful for you today. Again, I think the best thing you can do is to download the free end of the year kindergarten literacy goals so that you know what your child should be working on in kindergarten and what they should do by the end of the year. And it will also give you examples of words that they should be able to read and spell. Don't let me forget that part. Just because your child can read these words doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to spell them. They should be able to spell them. So you want to make sure that you're practicing both the reading of these words and the spelling of these words. If you have any questions about this or anything else I share here on my channel, please reach out and let me know. You can find me on my website, littleslovelearning.com. I'm also active on social media on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at Littles Love Learning Blog. And I am happy to help you and support you on this journey. Make sure that you know the correct words to ask your child to read and spell so that you are not frustrating them by giving them something too difficult. You are making sure that you're giving them exactly what they need to become a strong and proficient reader. Until the next video, I hope you have a great day. Bye.